Judgment is not a lion, a tiger, a swarm of bees, or a shark. And yet judgment can be just as scary for a lot of entrepreneurs who are thinking about getting on camera. And today I want to talk about that fear of judgment so that you can get past it to get on camera and share your message. First, I want to reveal exactly where that fear of judgment comes from, and it may surprise you. Then I want to invite you to do something with that fear that you've probably never done before. Get intimate. And I'm going to tell you how to do that and why it is so important. And then the final thing I want to share is a very simple way that you can get past that fear of judgment so that you can start using video to share your message. So today in this video, I'm sharing a 3-step process to help you conquer your fear of judgment. And the reason I'm sharing this is because a fear of judgment is really common. It's one of the most common excuses I hear, and I talk to a lot of female entrepreneurs about what's stopping them from getting on video. And they tell me it is the fear of judgment that's stopping them from doing any video marketing for their business. And that's just terrible because, as you probably know, video is a very powerful way to share your message and increase your impact. Video can support every aspect of the customer journey. It can help you with your reach, with your engagements. It can drive leads, get people to your website, and help you convert more sales with greater ease. So straight up, not doing video could be hurting your business, which is why I want to share these 3 things with you today. Okay. Number 1, that surprising cause of our fear of judgment. Now, we need to go way back in history to figure out why we as human beings are programmed to fear judgment. Actually, we need to go to prehistoric times. That's when our survival was contingent on being a part of a community. Now, back then, the ostracized were far more likely to starve, succumb to illness, or be eaten by a bear, tiger, shark, whatever. Everyone worked pretty hard to be accepted by the group because that was where food was shared, comfort and care were found, not to mention protection against predators and enemies. So for millennia, this was how humans survived as a community. And needing to be accepted by the group as a result is woven into our DNA. We've been conditioned to want to fit in and be accepted, and that goes back a very long time. Now, that may have been a long time ago, and it may feel irrelevant now, but it really wasn't all that long ago that we started to develop this notion that maybe we shouldn't care so much about what other people think. I mean, we're really talking about generations compared to millennia. And even though we no longer require the community for our survival, we still crave community for things like love, comfort, companionship, connections, collaboration. These things make life more enjoyable. And just like our prehistoric ancestors, life inside the community, for most people, is better than outside the community. So even though it's not life or death, it still feels really important. And maybe this was reinforced through your upbringing. I know it was for me. I mean, I certainly heard my mother letting me know that I should be concerned about what the neighbors think or what my teachers think or what her friends think. It really did matter to her. I mean, she believed that it affected our position in society, that others' opinions could significantly impact her ability to fit into the community. So that ancient conditioning was fostered. And then that became my fear. And once it was my fear, guess what I did? I started to project it. And so did a lot of people around me. Growing up, I mean, what women among us didn't deal with some sort of mean girl clique, commenting on your clothes or your weight or your looks, right? And if you were on the wrong side of that judgment, well, high school could be hell. But the point is, our fear of judgment is deeply ingrained, and that can really get in our way along that entrepreneurial path. So what can we do about it? Now, before you throw your hands up in frustration, I want to share the next step in this process because that big picture of where it comes from is only the first step, right? Now it's time to zoom in and get intimate with that fear of judgment. After we do this step, I'm going to show you exactly how to shut down that fear of judgment, but Don't even think about skipping ahead because this step, getting intimate, is essential to the final step. So let's get intimate with that fear of judgment. We're going to dig down and figure out where that fear of judgment comes from for you. Now, we already talked about where it comes from in general, but let's make it personal. So often we cling to the blanket term of fear of judgment because it's so common and so accepted as a legitimate excuse. But if we want to get past the video resistance so we can get on camera, we're going to have to go a bit deeper. What exactly are you afraid people are going to judge you about in your videos? And be specific here. Are you afraid they're going to see that you're not perfect? Are you afraid that they're going to judge the way that you talk, or the way that you look, or the way that you present? Are you afraid they're going to judge your intelligence? Now, all of these things are pretty scary, and I should know. This is my personal list. And after years of supporting women in building their video confidence, I know I'm not alone. And I know there are other root causes for that fear of judgment that I don't have. We all have our own individual fears that all get piled into the judgment pile. You need to identify them. You need to pull them apart. And then we're going to get really clear on why you care so much about these things. Why does it matter to you? And where did it come from? What is the root of that fear? The deeper you dig, the more you realize how unimportant these things are right now, today. I mean, does it really matter that your grade 5 teacher, Mrs. Jeans, told you that you were a terrible singer in front of the whole class? Does that matter today? Does it really have anything to do with you sharing your message? When you dig down, you can diffuse it. This is the key to nailing step number 3, which is shutting down that fear of judgment, pushing it aside or pushing through it so that you can get on video and share your message. Now, here's how I do it and how the women I work with do it. And it's crazy how simple this is. Okay, so once you've gotten intimate and you've identified those individual fears, hopefully you've seen how small these fears actually are. Don't try to deny them, by the way. They are there, and you may discover that they have triggers, but you have to remember these are small. When we dig down, we find that they come from very small things, so we can deal with them. And this is the key. Put them in perspective. That's step 3. When you feel that fear of judgment creeping in, dig down, identify the fear, and ask yourself, is this a real threat? Because remember, that fear of judgment naturally comes from our conditioning to be afraid of being outcast, right? It literally comes from us feeling like we cannot survive on our own. So in this case, is your fear an actual threat to your life? And be honest with yourself, right? Are you in danger? So a little hint here, it's almost always no. I hope it's a no. So once you get to there, let's flip it. Ask yourself, is it a bigger threat to my business or my success if I don't face my fears and get on video? Right? Is there a real threat to your business? Can your business thrive if you don't push past this fear and start to show up? That's the bigger threat. Another way to look at it is to focus on your customer or your clients. Ask one more question, and this is a big one. Is there someone out there who is in danger of not finding an answer to their problem if I can't find you? If they can't find you, are they in danger? And is saving them more important to you than your fears? Now, the final part of this third step is to create a bit of a mantra or an affirmation using one of these 2 things. Why your business or your client is more important to you than whatever judgment may come. Simple, right? Keep this mantra or affirmation handy because I'm here to tell you we have not killed the beast. We may have caged it, but we have not killed it. That fear of judgment will come back and threaten to silence you again. But now you have the tools, right? You have your affirmation or your mantra, and you know the 3-step process. 1, remember, your fear of judgment is part of your conditioning. It's nothing to be ashamed of, but it is also not something you have to give any power to. 2, dig deep, get intimate with your fears so you can focus on them and diffuse them one by one. And 3, recognize that there's no real threat to you, but there may be a threat to your business or to your waiting customers if they can't find you. So create that affirmation and use it to push past your fears, get on camera, and share your message. So keep these tools handy because the more you do video, the less you'll have to face that fear of judgment, but it does have a way of popping back up when you least expect it. So be aware of it and be ready to tackle it so you can stay video confident. And there's one more big thing that will skyrocket your confidence in using video to grow your business, and that is knowing exactly why you're doing video. That happens when you have a comprehensive video plan. And that video plan needs to be specific to you and your business. When you have a custom strategy, video can do the heavy lifting of attracting clients, getting leads, and increasing sales with ease. But you need to get it right, and you need your plan to be yours. I created a 9-step process so you can create your plan and have the confidence to execute it consistently. Now, I'd be happy to walk you through this template and share the exact steps you need to take to turn your video into your most effective lead generation tool and sales booster. Click the link to book your free 30-minute video marketing mapping session with me. The private session is our chance to connect and to get you on the path to confident and effective video marketing. So grab a spot on my calendar. I look forward to seeing you, and I promise I won't bite.